My name is Kevin Jensen. I'm the minister at the Summit View Church of Christ on 72nd Avenue, and I am delighted and honored to have the opportunity to share with you just a little bit of how the ministry of Love Inc. has blessed the ministry of our congregation. There are a few ways that we've been blessed, and just off the top of my head, the first one I always think of when I'm talking with people in our church about the value of Love Inc. is the impact on myself, my schedule, our leadership team, and the church staff. We have so many fewer drop-ins asking for benevolence. And that's been a blessing to us because people used to drop in 2-3 times a week, most weeks. And I'm thinking back years ago before Love Inc. opened up here in Yakima, and we were just inundated with these constant requests, and we didn't know what to do with them. And we might try to connect with a person and get to know them a little bit, but we were not equipped to know how to best help a person who was in real need, nor to find out whether the person's need was real or not. And so we began to become skeptical and cynical about requests that were coming to us, and it wasn't healthy. And so when Love Inc. Was organized, and we began to have a relationship with Love Inc. pretty early on, we were just delighted to have an organization we could trust, that we could send people to, and they could get the help that they really needed. And we were, one way to say it would be off the hook, but really what we were doing was managing our resources well and being better stewards of the opportunity to minister to a person in the way that they needed, or to guard the resources God had given us and not give them to someone who would not truly be appreciative or was not really in that kind of need. So that's been a blessing to us. I estimate that our drop-in benevolence requests have dropped over 90%, probably 95%, since we've been able to refer people to Love Inc. And so when someone comes to the door and asks for money or some kind of help now, or when they call, which is more common, we refer them directly to Love Inc. We make sure they have their phone number, they know what time to call, and we encourage them to keep calling until they get connected, and then to go through Love Inc.'s system and really get some legitimate help. Because there are people out there who need a lot of help, and the church is able to help the people we know personally, but just the random drop-in, we cannot do that responsibly. So Love Inc. has been a real blessing in that regard, and I am very grateful. And I just want to say to our folks at Love Inc., keep up the good work. Now, when I'm talking with folks in our church about the value of Love Inc., another way that Love Inc. is very helpful that I like to mention to them is it gives our church a way to do what God has taught his people from the time of ancient Israel to do. In the scriptures, the Old Testament and the New, the Lord often speaks about helping foreigners and widows and the fatherless or the orphan, and also more generally the poor. And of course those three groups make up much of the poor. And Love Inc. has given our church a way to do that, and so we're able to contribute monthly to the ministry of Love Inc. We're able to gather resources for Love Inc.'s pantry and give those to Love Inc. to distribute to those in need. And that gives us a mechanism for helping the poor, in addition to other missions and other local ministries that we support, and our own outreach to the people we personally know and the person who are within the orbit of our congregation's community. So we're really grateful for that opportunity from Love Inc. as well. Another benefit that we enjoy is just giving our church members individually a chance to serve in the community. I counted off the top of my head just a minute ago at least 5 current church members in our congregation who are serving at Love Inc. And what a blessing for them to have that opportunity to be able to serve week after week or month after month and just help this ministry, help the poor in our community, and be a blessing in the community. So it's a really great opportunity. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, we are seeing lives in our own church being changed. We've had 2 people who have been directly impacted by Love Inc.'s team program. One is a graduate a few years ago, and her life was just turned around. She's been able to pay off debt. She and her husband have bought a home and a vehicle. They are doing fantastic. They are paying off extended debt that they had, and coming close to having that gone. And I'm just so grateful. They're working for a living and just making a lot of great choices. And Love Inc. was a big part of that. And they appreciate what Love Inc. did for them, and I do too. We have another church member who's in the team program right now, and he is learning and growing. It's a challenging program for him, but he is developing new understandings of how finances work and how he can manage his resources from the Lord better, make wise decisions, and just learning how the financial system works overall so that he can manage his resources well. We're very grateful. Love Inc. was the best option for him and for her, who graduated a few years ago. And for both of them, it's a blessing. We're very, very grateful. Please continue to support Love Inc. Please continue to pray for Love Inc. They are doing good work in the name of Christ in our community, and we need them here. Thank you.